Hi everyone, today we're going to be reading about an amazing person named Amelia Earhart, and she was a very brave woman who decided to fly around the world. Let's see how she did it, especially for those of you girls out there. Have you ever thought about being a pilot? Being the one to actually fly the plane, or even an astronaut into space, maybe? When Amelia was a little girl, she liked to imagine she could stretch her wings and fly like a bird. When she was older, she went to something called an air show, and she saw the planes soaring in the sky, leaving Amelia on the ground. She wished she could go with them and see what they saw. She got a ride in an airplane and liked it so much she didn't want to ever come down. So, what did she do? She decided she wanted to learn to fly. And after months of practicing, she became the first woman to fly up really high into the sky to 14,000 feet. With a mechanic and a pilot, she was also the first woman to try and fly over the enormous Atlantic Ocean. As they set off, she waved at whales far beneath her. After many hours, they reached land. The world looked small, so small, that the houses and the cars were like toys. If you guys like to take a look at that. Is this how you feel also when you guys are in the plane? If you guys look out the window, do you feel like everything's like tiny little Lego pieces? Even though Amelia wasn't flying the plane, when they landed, she became famous. People around the world were inspired by her story that women could also fly high in planes. So this was a little bit of a while ago, back when women in planes were not very common. But nowadays, and even in this picture, you can tell, it started getting really popular. Amelia thought that every girl deserved to fly, so she founded a club with 98 other fearless pilots. A little later, she flew across the Atlantic all by herself. As her 40th birthday approached, Amelia decided she wanted one final challenge: to fly around the world. A brave navigator went with her. They flew for thousands of miles, over oceans and jungles, and over the savannah, where giraffes turned their heads in their trail. Some people said the journey was crazy. But Amelia wasn't afraid of living 1,000 adventures, so she flew on like a bird, farther than anyone had gone before, never to return. Because Amelia always followed her own advice. If you want to do something, do it. You never know how far you can get. So this is Amelia Earhart. Amelia is famous not only for being a very brave woman, but she also disappeared on her last journey flying around the world. They never really found out what happened to her plane. Amelia Earhart was the most famous female pilot of the 20th century, so the 1900s. She first became interested in planes after seeing an air show when she was nearly 20 years old. A little later, pilot Frank Hawks gave her a ride in a biplane. From that moment on, she said, "I knew I had to fly." And Amelia took lessons and bought her first plane 6 months later. Imagine buying a plane. She used it to set a new women's record, flying up to 14,000 feet. She was the first woman to fly over the Atlantic, first with a mechanic and a pilot, and then later by herself. In 1929, Amelia was the first president of the 99th, an organization that supported female pilots. In 1935, she became the first person to fly solo, all on her own, across the Pacific Ocean. But Amelia was always keen. She was always looking and eager for a new challenge. In 1937, she decided to try and fly around the world a total of 29,000 miles. On July 2nd, when she was trying to reach Howland Island in the mid-Pacific, she reported that their gas was running low. Soon after, all communications from the plane stopped. There was a massive rescue attempt, but Amelia and her plane had vanished. There was not even the wreckage. They couldn't even find the plane pieces. In 1938, a lighthouse was built on the island in her memory, and her bravery to this day is still celebrated around the world. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the story, and hope you guys are inspired by Amelia. If you want to do something, who said you can't? Go ahead And I think you guys can achieve many great things just like Amelia did. No matter how scary it is, you're always the braver one. It's okay to be scared, but you can do it. All right, see you guys next time. Bye.